Hello, happy Friday, and welcome to another session of Me Programming Daily. Today, let's transition to the code view. Today, I'm planning to run a slightly shorter session where I will just do some minor cleanup around the new main function. And also, I'm planning to add some terms and operations and definitions from this section of the white paper, Description of drakon Visual Syntax. I've spent, I don't know how many minutes, not hours, but minutes, going through each of these rules back and forth. And it does take a special type of talent to piece it together just from this description. And it always felt like something was missing until I read this little appendix. The drakon language is described in detail in a book by Paranjanov, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing this, Learn to Draw Clear Flowcharts. I couldn't find it online, but I've only invested a couple of minutes looking for it. But it feels like having these rules distilled to only like 2 or 3 pages resulted in some content being lost in translation. Also, this is translated from Russian, I think. Anyways, enough excuses. I hope you have your drink of choice ready. I have my coffee ready. And let's play with Haskell. Let's play with drakon today. So upon reading the code, again, I noticed that both my custom implementation of a rectangle and my custom implementation of a hexagon have these values or these arguments, x and y. We don't really need them. X is really, I'm not sure what I was thinking, providing that x is probably always going to be 0, and we draw it with the translation anyway. So x. So I misusing the x and the y because when I'm calling the function hex, it looks like I'm treating x and y as width and height. Meanwhile, the actual implementation treats them more like, where is this? The origin, yeah, and the origin x and origin y. So let's try to do a little experiment. Open our SVG. I'm going to delete both of them. Or maybe I shouldn't. You know what? Let's just leave it as it is. And let's see what else we can improve here. And also, I don't want to spend too much time on this because I know the code is going to change substantially going forward. Also, going through this document, through this white paper, I noticed that yes, the implementation is incomplete at the moment, but I don't think we're that far off. Bits like connecting lines or merging connections are missing, that's true, but the core concept, I believe, is correct. All right, so maybe let's park. No, let's do write some Haskell because I don't want to skip my daily habit or nearly daily habit of writing some Haskell at least a little bit every day. So this is only used in one place, so I don't need to worry about that. But what I did notice being applied over and over again is this sort of trio: line width, line color, and also fill color. So I believe we can abstract it into a helpful function. So let's maybe call this function apply style. Okay, that is interesting. That is not too bad. Or I think apply through the copilot off. We don't really need to make it a function. It can be a constant. So we do line width, line color, and what else? Fill color. Let's call it drakon style. And something like this. This is very interesting. It looks like I will need this to be a function after all. Yeah, that will help us shave off some lines, and maybe it will allow us to get under 400 lines again. Okay. Would that be good? Should be good. Let's run it to see what happens. By the way, I hope everyone's days or everyone's day is good. Where I live, it's a very gloomy February day. It's cold and rainy and very windy. Not a super pleasant day, but a perfect opportunity to enjoy some coffee and a bit of programming in peace. Mm. This is not what I wanted. Oh yeah, because I removed this code. It is not looking very pretty. Hold on. Can I just do this? I should be able to, shouldn't I? I'm mostly guessing at this stage. Parse error. Yeah. Can we do this? I'm just very curious. Yeah. Doesn't matter. It's not that important anyway. Hold on. Rect prime is my custom function. Why don't I just automatically apply the style? And that way, I don't even have to call it. Same with hex. Thank you. Three lines gone. Oh, things were going so well. That's fine. These are connections. This can go. Oh, almost under 400 lines. That's fine. But I believe if we format this, it's going to be more. Yeah, it is slightly more. Let's see if we can trim off something else. These parsers I don't want to touch right now. And this is not looking very pretty. Okay, let's just leave it as it is for now. Let's run it. What did I miss? Okay. Let's commit this. I can't get too used to this. To pushing directly to main. Yeah, I know I shouldn't be doing that. But it's fine for now, I suppose. Now, let's get to the Haskell bit for today is done, although I'm very tempted to do much more. For example, to get rid of these helper functions. Render prime, width prime, and height prime. I think I would do the code a big service if I turned this into a custom type. That way I could implement the type class render for this custom type. But I feel it's maybe a better idea for another day. Now, what I did find, let's switch to the terms document. What I did find pretty appealing last time I read this is this section. Axiom primitive and axiom silhouette. So let's just capture this. So these define the starter points of designing any type of diagram, whether it's primitive or silhouette. This is what you begin with. And really the instructions sort of start with definition 14, not with rule 1 or definition 1. I mean, it's still useful, but if it was my white paper, I would probably start with something like definition 14. Axiom primitive. So technically, it's this. Axiom primitive and axiom silhouette. I'll try to organize this a little bit better as time progresses. But for now, I'm just listing all the terms that appear in the white paper. The axiom primitive and the axiom silhouette are the prototypes shown in figure 13, which is this. That serve for the design of primitive and silhouette drakon charts, respectively. Okay. Definition 15. The points marked as by digits 1, 2, 3 in figure 13 are called axiom valent points of types 1 to 3, respectively. So these points are axiom valent points. Let's list it as a term. Is there a space or is there a dash? Just space. So now we know of valent points of first kind, of the second kind, and of axiom valent points. So now, first kind. Rule 16. The insert a skewer block operation. Let's list it. Is performed as follows, according to rule 2, which already explains what the insertion is. The insert operation is performed as follows. So we already have that. A connecting line is broken at the valent point. Do we have a connecting line? Connecting line So we can remove this. No. Could. There will be an alias for that connecting line. Present in the white paper. A skewer block is inserted into the axiom valent point. So this rule 16 only talks about rule 2, but for axiom valent points. Of type 1. Let's quickly go to rule 2. And a skewer block is inserted in its place. So Copilot says of the first kind, but I'm not sure that is correct. Because it can also be axiom valent point. Yeah, the rules say here. A skewer block is inserted into the axiom valent point of type 1, axiom valent point of type 1, or into the drakon chart valent point of type 1 or 2. So they are introducing term drakon chart valent point. And then that is further broken down into first kind and second kind. Axiom valent point of type 1. So it looks like first and second kind and type are used interchangeably. So axiom valent point can also be of first and second type / kind. And valent point of a second type, I think, located at the entrance or exit of a skewer block. So here are the rules of that operation. Kind 1 or to the drakon chart valent point of type. Or 2. Okay, so that's a pretty sensible rule. Select of an initial terminator. This is again for axiom shapes who are not fleshed out yet. Selection of an initial terminator. The reason I'm covering this today is because of rule 19 and 24, which for some reason, those numbers, they describe very precisely what kind of operations are allowed in each type of drakon chart, whether it's primitive or silhouette. So here, insert a selection of an initial terminator. Operation is performed as follows. Icon 1 and an axiom, which is this one or this one. Oh, this is interesting. So that is 3, that is 1. Hold on. Are address and heading terminators? I don't believe so. A headline. I don't believe they are terminators. Icon 1 in an axiom may be replaced by terminators. Thank you, Copilot. Icon 1. What is the icon 1? Oh, it's not the valent point numbered 1, it's the icon 1, which is this shape as the title, or something that looks like a title. Yeah, sorry about that. Of our silhouette axiom. No. Can be replaced by terminators shown by item 2 and figure 1. I think this should be an or items 1 and 2 and figure 2. Terminator 2. We'll substitute this with an actual name. So this is not a terminator. Item 1 and 2. Figure 2. Okay, now let's check what those are. And that is our rule 17 done. By title. Title letter. Word. Cyclic start with parameters word. So we can have 3. Just out of curiosity, let's check all of our start terminators here. Start terminator, title, cyclic start, title with parameters. Oh. What about cyclic start? I think this should have been mentioned. If the cyclic start with parameters is mentioned, a terminator is a part of drakon chart that has either a single exit at the bottom of and no entry, or a single area. The icons 1, 2, 3 in figure 1. So that's an end, we don't care. And drakon words 1 and 2. So we have these covered by these two, are examples. So I wonder why cyclic start is not defined in rule 17. Oh, that's item 2 in figure 1. And item 2 is probably the cyclic start. Sorry, I can't read. Yeah, cyclic start. So it is a title. Title. Cyclic start letter. Title with parameters word. Cyclic start with parameters word. Okay, perfect. We're getting somewhere. Now, rule 17 done. Rule 18, the deletion of the end of a primitive. Let's call it operation. Is performed as follows. In the primitive drakon chart, the end icon and the entering vertical appendix are removed. This is only in primitive. Okay. So that is rule 18. And now, rule 19. So this is going to be interesting. Any correctly designed primitive drakon chart so we have axiom primitive chart. Axiom valent point we can remove from here because it already, oh no, sorry, valent point. So this is like a categorization, while here we just capture the term. Primitive drakon chart is a result of transforming an axiom primitive, which is starts as an axiom primitive chart. And it's a result by finite number of the following operations. Okay. Insert a skewer block. Transplantation of a liana. We haven't covered it yet. I've only read about it. We'll add it to the terms. Let's add it here. Transplantation of a liana. Selection of an initial terminator. Yes. And finally, deletion of the end icon of a primitive. Deletion of the end. So the wording is slightly different. Deletion of the end of a primitive and deletion of the end of a primitive. Deletion of the end icon of a primitive. Let's call it deletion of the end icon of a primitive. And also let's introduce the term icon. I probably should have started with that all those months ago, but I was just very hungry to write some code without any consequences. Now we're correcting that mistake. Okay, and that is good for a primitive drakon chart. And fragments and the following section for covering the silhouette diagrams we'll cover probably during the next session. I feel we have enough content produced today to count as a job well done. Right, so I'm pushing that. check. Terms are slowly growing. We'll make this into something more interesting. But for now, I think we're good. So I think this is good enough for today. During next session, we'll be covering the silhouette diagram rules and new terms. And who knows where this takes us. I'm really eager to start working on the Lexer, but in order to do that, it would make sense to have all the tokens at least vaguely defined. Right. I thank you very much for your attention today. I wish you a fantastic weekend, and I hope you get to spend some time with your family and friends and recharge your batteries in preparation for the next week. And yeah, take care. Bye.